Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our wonderful Wednesday's show. Now, it might be very grey and dull outside, but we are bringing you a wonderful, colourful day today here at Hunky Dory. So, we are having a Nat and Cat day, but with a little bit of a difference. So, it's me, Cat, presenting, and over in our demonstration station, we have the wonderful Natalie.
Hello. Not sure if I'm okay with the switch up today, but we'll get through it. It's going to be, like Kat said, it's going to be a very colourful day.
It is. And not to forget Lisa over on
yes.
the production desk. So, what have we got for you today? We have got our brand new, and this is something completely different. It's never done this before.
So different, isn't it?
The Magic of Colour Handbook and the wonderful colour wheel. These are going to solve all your colour problems. They are going to give you the answers to all your colour questions, what colours you should put together, what colours you should put together that you might have never thought of putting together before, but this is going to tell you that they work, and we are going to have so much fun with the demonstrations with this today. But before we dive into it any further, let's go over our Win It Weekly competition. So, for you today, this is fabulous. I've just seen this. Our prize this week to win the Floral Dreams stamp collection, it's worth a whopping £24. We've got these 3 beautiful A6 stamps for you here. Beautiful. Look at the size of the main image on that one there. It's absolutely gorgeous.
They're all quite big centerpiece stamps, these ones, aren't they?
They really are. Some beautiful sentiments and additional details on there as well. If you're already starting to think about your spring crafting, these are absolutely perfect. So, would you like to be in a chance to win these? All you have to do is answer this question, and it's 5 lucky winners this week.
I know,
wow, that's amazing. So, like, share and comment your answer to this question. How many words make up the world's longest poem? Ooh.
I know.
Is it A, 1.3 million, B, 1.8 million, or C, 2.2 million? That's a long poem.
It's a very long poem.
I wouldn't like to study that one for any of my exams, whichever the answer is.
No, I think you'd be studying it for a couple of months.
You really...
Just to get through it once.
You certainly would. Oof. Yeah, I've absolutely no idea.
I'd also lose concentration.
Yeah.
I'm not a reader at all, so I would be reading the same thing about 5 times.
Find rhymes for all those words.
Exactly.
Oh.
It's mental, isn't it?
That is absolutely crazy. But I'm sure our viewers out there will be getting on that old Google and finding out.
100%.
I hope we know what the poem is at the end of the week as well. I'm sure we'll get some answers. Absolutely fabulous. So, like, share and comment, get your answers in, and 5 of you will be winning them beautiful stamps this week. Now, let's delve into our wonderful... Oh, we've got a VT. Amazing. So, did you get a sneak peek of some of those beautiful cards and colour combinations there? I'm sure you did. This is what you are going to be able to create with our new Magic Colour Crafting Handbook. And if you purchase this, you are going to get this absolutely free. It is £9.99. And like we said before, it has got everything you need to work out all these wonderful colour combinations. I'm going to cheat and I'm going to read a little bit of a section from the book because Anne's wrote it so much better than I could ever say. So, the Magic of Crafting Handbook. What is the importance of the colour wheel? Many of us struggle to decide which colours of card paper to put together on a card, or the best shades of prism markers that work together. But understanding the relationship between colours means more than informed choices will be made, making for easy projects, planning a fabulous finished product. And this is what this book is going to do for you. So we're going to start with the contents here, and you can see that we're going to go through and it's got everything that you need to know. It's going to explain your colour wheel for you. So let me show you this in a little bit more detail. It has got, when you look at it, there's so much information on here. So we've got all the colours you could ever wish for and the tonal shades on there as well. And the back is stationary and the front is going to pivot round. And depending on what you're working with this section here, which combination of colours you are going to pick out. So we have got things like our basic primary colours. So we've got our blues, our reds and our yellows. Sometimes you don't think that they're necessarily going to go together, do you? But we're going to show you examples in this book how you can make them work. Then we're going to move on to our secondary colours. I'll go through these in more detail in a bit when we show you some examples because it makes much more sense. But they are the colours after your primary colours and so on as we go around. And then there's lots of ways this wheel can be split up using this centre panel. And you can see as long as you have your arrows pointing, there's like a smaller triangle there. So just for example, this would be the split complementary. So we put it on one position. The top of your triangle would be your first choice of colour, and then your two bottom points are going to point at the two colours that are going to work best with that if you were working on a split complementary design. I know there's a lot of explanation. It's a little bit more technical than things that we have gone into before, but this is why you have got the handbook, because it is going to explain everything perfectly for you. We also have the colour wheel on its own if you're just wanting that. If it's something that you've maybe worked with before and you just want to have the basic information, you can buy this by itself for $3.99. But of course, if you get the handbook, you're getting this absolutely free.
Yeah, and I also think it's really great, not just for, because if you're getting the handbook and you get your colour wheel, maybe you're someone who runs craft classes or craft classes for beginners and you're wanting to really look at the basics of colour, how we can use colour in our card making, then this is a great way, because you can have that book, you can have all of the knowledge, you can share the knowledge with other people, and then being able to buy your wheel separately means that you can have more wheels to have on the tables of your classes. I think it's a great one as well for younger people who are studying art and things like that. It also works in every single point of life where we are looking at colour. So not just in crafting, maybe in decorating the house even. You know, maybe you're a soft crafter, so you're picking colours and fabrics that are going to work together, or you're picking yarn for your next sort of like jumper or scarf project. All of these different things are really going to help, and I do believe that some people do sometimes struggle with how they work, and the handbook is perfect because it goes through every single little element, and it is really something that if you're going to get this home, read your handbook, go through your whole handbook first, because once you've got that knowledge of what's in your handbook, then understanding your colour wheel will come to you so easily.
Yeah, and having a look at it here, once you've got past your contents, your very first pages start with basically how to read your colour wheel.
Yeah.
So you can see that on there, it matches up, all the diagrams and everything perfectly match up with your colour wheel. It's going to tell you what all these arrows mean, what the boxes mean. You're going to go through step by step of what all the terminology means and how we translate and then make that into cards. So that's just going through a few of these first pages so you can see everything again that has been used in this handbook is hunky-dory products, so you know that your colour wheel is going to work with either what you've got in stock or what you might buy in the future, so which is absolutely great as well. And then I think we start delving into our first cards. Now I think we've got some graphics for these, haven't we? So maybe we're better showing you the graphics and we can talk through the different techniques. So first up, we have got our primary colours, which are your reds, your blues, your yellows. And we can see in these card examples here how you can make them work harmoniously together. We've got a paper craft sample and we have got a multimedia sample using our inks on this one here. So you can see, sometimes you can be a little bit afraid of using these really primary bright colours, but you can still make absolutely beautiful cards with them.
Mika and Anne-Marie worked on this handbook quite a lot, and when we started the process of the handbook, it was something that was quite challenging to us because we hadn't thought about colour in this way. We hadn't had to strip back to sort of like basics and work out how to use it, but once you got through sort of the very basics with your primary colours and then moving on to your secondary colours, we really sort of excelled, and it started to make sense. So it is a process that you're going to, and a journey that you will go on with these cards, but it is definitely so helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on to our secondary colours now. Now traditionally our secondary colours are orange, green and violet. These feature prominently in nature, so this is why we've gone along with like the nature theme card on this one. Absolutely stunning. So again, we've got the paper craft one there, and now we've got one using our alcohol markers, this beautiful striped effect that Natalie did. Again, it just shows you that you can put these colours together.
Yeah.
When we first saw them, we were like, oh, a little bit afraid. How are we going to make cards that don't just look like Halloween? But you can see with just these two examples,
using different tones of the colours as well.
Exactly, and that's what
your colour
wheel is going to show you.
Yeah.
That you've not just got to go for the very brightest. There is a range of tones on there that you can use to put stunning examples together. So next up, going through your book, we are on to our tertiary colours. There are 6 tertiary colours. They are red-orange, yellow-orange, yellow-green, blue-green, blue-violet and red-violet. And there's lots of ways these can work together. So you can see as we're moving through that colour wheel, we're getting more and more options of the tones and beautiful, stunning colours that we can get in. So again, that was our papercraft example. Moving on to our stamped example there using our Prism inks. Absolutely stunning. Aren't they beautiful?
They work really nicely as well, don't they? So you can really see how they work. Shall we have a little look at that first sort of section and do a little demo based on those sort of theories that we've just gone through?
Yeah, why not?
So I think for this one, we're going to use our secondary colours, and I'm going to work with our prism for this first card. We're going to try and do a little bit of different stuff. What's great about this handbook as well is we've really thought about everything in here. So what you'll find at the back of your book is your colour wheel broken out into your different shades with your adorable squirrel colours and with your prism colours as well. So once we've decided sort of what we're going to do and where we're going to use this wheel, we can then go to our colours and we can see what colours we have in our prism that are going to work. So for this one, I thought I would do sort of like a Bokeh style technique, and I did something quite similar on Hobby Maker and I absolutely loved it. So we're going to take our Mylar and we're going to use our Moonstone nesting dies for this one as well. I'm going to take sort of like the 3 largest. I don't know if I want to do that one. Let's just see how these work. And I'm just going to make a little mask out of these by just lining up my sort of spacings on here. And are we going to pop that one in? Let's do it like so. I think we're going to do it, but I'm just playing around with the placement because the placement of my dies is really important for the sort of card that I'm going to make here. So I'm going to now take these down and run them through to create a mask that we can run our colours through. So let's go in with our Gemini, and I'm just going to place that on my metal plate. I don't need my, oh Lisa,
What have you done?
I've pulled it too quickly and I've pulled the plug out. I do apologise.
Eager crafting.
You haven't, it's down, I think it's dropped down here.
I'm getting it. Come now.
You won't do. I don't know how that happened. I don't even know where the thingy is. There we are. Let's plug it back in. Make sure it's nice and stuck. There we go. So let's run this through and create that gorgeous mask for us to be able to run our images through. Now this colour wheel book is going to work for so many things, and not just sort of like with your Prism inks and your Adorable Scorable, but moving on in the show we're going to show you how to create cards using our Duo Design paper pads and sort of focusing on the different colours there, so you can see how it will work with sort of pattern designs as well. So let's just pop this to one side now, and I'm going to remove my sort of tape off here, and that is going to give me this background that we've got on there. So I'm going to bring in my mask, and then let's have a look at what we're going to use. So I think we're going to go with our tertiary colours. So it says 1 primary and 1 secondary colour mixed together. So red and orange equal red orange. So when we look at our colour wheel, you'll see that your tertiary colours, you've got your yellow orange, you've got your red orange, you also have your blue green and your blue violet, and then when we turn it a little bit more there, just so you can see it, you've got your red violet and your yellow green as well. So if we bring in the colour wheel handbook and turn to that page, so here we go, you can see how all of these work out. So I'm going to pick 3 of these colours to work together. I think I'm going to go with my red orange. I might go with my yellow orange actually. So yellow orange, I'm going to go with my blue green, and I'm also going to go with my red violet. So yellow orange, blue green, red violet, and then we'll turn this over onto our handbook here, and you've got a couple of options for your yellow orange. I think I'm going to go with mustard for this one, so let's get that one out. I think it's further down here. So I'm going to go with mustard. I'm going to go with my blue green. We're going to go with teal. I'm going to keep this really quite fresh. I'm going with the teal because I've gone with a darker tone of my sort of orange yellow, so we want to keep that quite similar. And then with our red violet, let's go in with orchid. So that again is going to give you a really nice sort of purpley tone, and you can see already when we move this out of the way that these colours are going to look really, really awesome together. So let me get my blending tool and we'll start to put these colours together. So I've got a little piece of cardstock here that's 5 by 7, and I'm just going to use this to create a really nice sort of bokeh effect on my card here. So we're going to do a little bit of inking, a little bit of layering up on our colours. So let's just blend these in first of all, going in with my orchid just into these spaces, and I'm not oh, I've just moved that. Let's pop that back in. I'm not sticking it down because I am going to sort of move it around to sort of tile this pattern together a bit more. So we're going to pop that on there, and then I can lift this up and I can move this down here. Shall we go, where should we go with that one? Let's go like, I'm going to pop, because you can turn this around, which I really like about this mask, because the shapes are all very similar. You can sort of move it about and add these elements in. So let's go over here with this one, and then I'm going to go back in with this one, being very careful because I don't want to add that smaller piece in, and then we can build that back up. I'm going to go with this larger shape at the bottom here, and then I will go and we're going to switch our colours. So let's just pop that over and we'll go back in with our mustard, and I'm actually going to just lay this mask now kind of in the same area, but what we're going to do is we're going to build up the colours that we have on here. So let's just turn it so you're getting different shapes appearing, and then we'll just go in here with these other colours, and your colours will sort of lie on top of each other a little bit, but it's going to give you such a fun sort of bokeh design, but in this really nice shape. So you can see instantly when we pull that off,
really cool,
the sort of design that we get in here, and then we'll repeat that again. So just moving that a little bit further along, going in with these colours, and of course you can be as sort of light or dark with the pressure that you're putting on your your image here. So we've got that there, and then we'll switch it out, and we're going to finish off with our teal, add a little sentiment, and we've got a beautiful card example done here using your colours that we have chosen. So I'm going to move it around again. Let's do it, I'm trying to create a different style of pattern each time. Let's pop it on here. I don't want to do it too much with my third colour, because we are sort of getting into that overlappy stage quite a lot now with the design I've chosen. I'm just going to pop that along here, but you don't have to be this fancy. You could be just doing strips with your low tack tape, adding all of these images together. It's going to give you such an incredible look to your card. So going in with that last colour now.
And I think the science behind it as well, because when you're blending over those other colours, because they complement each other, you're making different tones rather than it just turning muddy and brown.
Absolutely. So you've got that really nice mix of colour. Super, super fun pattern. Really sort of geometric looking design that we've got going on there. And then we're going to finish it off with a sentiment. So let me just get my little blocks, and for this one I'm going to use my absolute favourite. This is our incredible overlay stamp. So we're going to go with Hooray, because it's quite fun, the design we've got on here. So let's go for Hooray, and then we're also going to do You Did It. So for my Hooray, I'm going to go in with my orchid, and because I've got quite a lot going on with this design, I'm going to try and get my Hooray in a place where I don't have any of that purple. So then when it overlays on those colours, you're still going to be fully be able to see it. And then for our You Did It, let's go in with that teal. And it does show that following the sort of theory that the book has, and like Kat says, even though we're adding these colours and laying them all on top of each other, they work so well. And then I'm just going to put that You Did It towards the bottom section there of my card, and then we'll pop that onto a little card blank, and you've got a beautiful card there showing off those gorgeous colours.
And I think that is an amazing demonstration, Natalie, because it shows, it sounds like we've been talking a lot about science and theory of colour and stuff like that, but it shows how this book is just going to give you the ability to go in, pick out 3 colours and put together a really effective but simple card. So don't get baffled by the science. This is what this book's here to do. It's to help you make all these things. Should we run through a few more cards before we go on to the next bit? And we'll go through the book. So I think we were up to monochrome, were we?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So here we have our monochrome, and this is really easy, this one. It's just reminding you that your monochrome doesn't have to be black and white and shades of grey. It's just about picking a colour and then working with the shades within it. So you can see that this one's pink and this one's green, and it's just picking out those tones, those tints, those shades, and working with it in that fashion. Next up, this is our, let me go on, our contrasting colours. So some people say red and green should never be seen, but this just proves
it works so well.
That they work so well together. So having those beautiful arranges, shades of green there, and then just that pop of red really makes it come to life. So contrasting colours, but also often known as complementary colours. So it can work both ways. So here's one using our inks, that green again, greeny teal with that orange, absolutely perfect there, absolutely stunning. Next up, we are going to go on to our 3 colour cards. So it's about picking out those 3 colours that work beautifully together. So we've gone in and looking at the paler shades within the wheel now. So this is like our red violet, our blue violet, and our like yellow oranges, but taking them down the shades, so you've got that much more softer look to your card, but they still work beautifully together. And then we've got a double complimentary card here, the Make-A-Wish. And again, you can see how the technique's been used. This one, I think it was Anne-Marie did this one, doesn't it? This
It was me.
Oh, was it you?
Yeah.
Beautiful, like, bubble watercolour technique there. Absolutely stunning.
So easy and effective to do with your brush markers as well.
Absolutely gorgeous. Is that where you wanted to go up to, Lisa?
2 more.
2 more. So next up, we are creating harmony with our cards. This is, so you can see again, picking out those colours. And as you get to the individual pages in here, you're going to have a wheel diagram that's going to give you an example of how to use your wheel. So it's all perfectly laid out for you. This is the one using our papers. I think they were from the new coloured block pads.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have an example with, no, Natalie did this one because I loved watching her do it, with our alcohol markers, blending those shades down into each other. How absolutely stunning is that? And do the rest in a bit. Shall we show you some other products that we think are going to either work with this or
100%,
complement
yeah.
it? Yeah. So we also have 12 of our crafting handbooks for you to choose from today. Again, $9.99 each, but we know how much you love these. We've picked out a selection for you to have a look at today.
These handbooks are just so perfect, aren't they? Because just like this brand new one we brought out to you, they're fantastic for all the different sort of themes that we have in here to hold your hand and help you through, like a learning process.
Absolutely. And the first one we've got here is the absolute best place to start. We know some of you that join us have been here for a good few years, and hopefully you'll know the basics. But we know there's new people join us every day, and maybe our longer serving guests want to get one of their friends into card making. So a beginner's guide to card making is absolutely perfect for you. It's going to go through how to make your quick and simple cards, go over the basics of mat and layering, your sizes and everything like that. So this is a great for a gift coming up to Christmas
really perfect,
as well.
Isn't it?
Then we have got some of our scoreboard selections for you here. I think this is the brand new one, isn't it, that launched with our book, volume 6. So how to make all these wonderful projects using your scoreboard, techniques on how to score your cards, make your boxes, all these fancy edge cards that are on the front there. That's absolutely perfect for that. Another one for the scoreboard, volume 4. Look at that little castle down there, absolutely incredible. We've just picked a selection more here that are more online. Now this one we have got a note on because you really need to know this. People have been asking for this book. We have scoured the warehouse high and low, and we have found...
I don't just think the warehouse either. I think Lisa's been going around people's desks and stealing them.
Yep. We have literally a handful. And it's not coming back, is it? We've been told, unfortunately we've asked, but it's not. So get that in your baskets now if you want it. I think today is literally going to be your last opportunity
100%.
to buy the Christmas Adorable Scoreable Handbook for the scoreboard. We've got another one here, volume 2, and it's so good to go back and revisit some of those, isn't it?
These are things that even me, you, Bex, Rach, will always pull into handbooks like that to help refresh our memory. And also sometimes when you look at a project like that, then it takes you into another journey where you're seeing how you can expand on that or change your design to do something else.
Changing the sizes up and things like that. It's absolutely fabulous. So they were relevant to the scoreboard. Now we're moving on to our Prism crafting handbooks. We've got the World of Colour here that is going to go through all the wonderful things you can do with our Prism craft markers. This is an absolute go-to, and I learned so much from this book. And it really,
it's a fantastic book, isn't
by the time you get to the end of it, working on these techniques, you will see a visible difference in your results out, definitely. Next up, we have another one of my favourites, our watercolour pencils. Lots of techniques and tips and inspiration, and everything I've just said about the alcohol markers is the true for this. It's absolutely gorgeous techniques. inspirations and tips and beautiful cards that you can copy and create in there. Next, we have, I need to sit and go through this one a bit more because it's the one thing that I am not 100% confident in is my brush markers. Just because I love my Prism alcohol so much.
And so do I, but I have been using our alcohol markers for another project that we've got coming up shortly.
Fabulous.
And I don't know, I've just really sort of turned to them a bit more recently.
Yeah. And last but not least, in the selection that we're showing you today, we have our Prism ink pads. Lots of, again, fab fun techniques and all the wonderful things you can do within there. Absolute bargain. $9.99, $9.49 for club members and diamond members, $8.99. Absolute steal. And like we said at the beginning, make absolutely great presents at this time of year for people that are getting into this journey. And again, I think a lot of these would go really well with your handbook if you're buying it today, especially like your Prism ones. 100%. So you've got those great techniques that you can use alongside your new colour theory. Next up for you, we have, let me find where we're up to. Oh, another fabulous thing. We have some Mactastic Adorable Scoreable, and you can pick any 3 packs, packs of 10 for just $9.99. So
that's really good, that isn't it? 30 sheets of cardstock.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not all the colours, this is just a selection as well. So again, if we turn to that page that Natalie showed us before with all the information of what you're going to use on here, we have got honey, just showing you there, absolutely stunning.
That one is your apricot burst.
Beautiful apricot burst there. We've got our stunning, is this cornflower blue?
Yes, it is. Absolute favourite.
Oh, this is my absolute favourite, our indigo sky. Absolutely stunning. Our willow, oh no, sorry, kiwi crush. I've just hit that in the wrong light there. Absolutely gorgeous. So 10 sheets per pack. So that's 30 sheets for $9.99.
And we have a secret about this Mactastic. We are bringing out some new Mactastic colours.
This is what I was like, am I allowed to say this?
Let's say it, because once these are gone,
they're gone.
And there's some of my absolute favourite colours in this selection of Mactastic. That one is one of my favourites. I love that shade of lavender. It's beautiful. This one as well. The
rich velvet, absolutely stunning. I'm so glad I was like trying to telecommunicate with Natalie then whether I was allowed to say that. She obviously picked up on the vibes.
Tell people,
so
because
this
you don't want to miss out.
Once these come out, once these have gone, they are gone. They will not be being reprinted. So if these are some of your favourite colours, make sure you get them now. The beautiful salmon here. And you can see how well these complement each other as well.
Exactly, if you're doing sort of like your harmonious colours, or you're doing sort of like a monochrome look and you're choosing lots of different tones to work with, these are perfect because there's so many different varieties and shades of colour in here.
Yeah, we've just had our petal pink and our warm oak. This is our smooth slate. Our pebble grey, absolutely stunning. And our, of course, this is just an absolute basic, our soft white when you're just wanting something a little bit thicker than your normal everyday ink make. Absolutely gorgeous colours there on an absolutely incredible price for you. That's 30 sheets of any 3 colours you want for $9.99. Next up, Prism ink pads. Have we got?
These are good ones, aren't they?
Oh, they're on the screen. So again, as you've seen already on today's demonstration, these are perfect for using with your handbook. There is so many wonderful combinations you'll be able to put together. You'll be able to put some together that you've probably never even thought of before. We've got the sets for you here. They are $14.99, $14.24 for club members, and an incredible $13.49 for our Diamond Club members. These beautiful, beautiful sets. All those gorgeous colours that we have come to love so much. All back in stock for you. Absolutely gorgeous there. And if you're using your Prism inks, you are going to need one of these.
Absolutely.
I think this is one of the funnest, best things that we do to keep your messy crafting just a little bit less messy. It is our incredible silicone mat. This for me is an everyday thing. It's on my desk where no matter what I'm doing, it sticks, it doesn't move around, it's so easy to clean. You can just scrunch it up, chuck it under the tap, rinse everything off. Whether you're using your glues, your prism inks, your markers, your brush markers, you can use it as like a palette as well, as a working surface, so you can mix your colours together on there.
Great for if you've got your heat gun out as well, because any of your glue that sort of comes off that glue gun when you're, I don't know, rearranging your flowers or sorting out your embellishments on your cards, it's going to be able to easily peel off that when it's dry.
Yeah, absolutely. We absolutely love this here. Again, $9.99 if you're not in the club, but I don't know why you wouldn't be in the club. $9.49
exactly.
for our club members and $8.99 for our diamond members. Absolutely amazing bit of kit. Are we going to do a couple more cards before we go back to Nat, or do you want to go back to Nat?
We can go through the wheel if you want on what we looked at earlier. Yeah. Let's do that. So first of all, we looked at our sort of monochrome. What I love about the colour wheel as well is that even though you've got your handy guide with your handbook, you've got all of the workings on here, you've got these really, really handy sort of elements on the back as well, which describe all of the different terminology that we have in that book. So if you haven't got your book to hand, or you're just wanting to quickly use this, you've got that on here too. So obviously with your monochrome, it's really, really easy, because no matter what shade you use, let's have a look at our yellowy green. We're just going to work through those sort of tonal colours that we have in here, those different hues and shades of that one colour. With your complementary, of course, we've got your two colours that work together. So we all know that I absolutely love my orange. So if we go to our orange, then our complementary straight away is the beautiful blue. So we can use any of those hues and tones with the same hues and tones on your blues, and they're going to work together. Then your split complementary is really, really easy to use as well. So we're going to stick with our orange on here. So you've got your orange on there, which you obviously have your complementary on the opposite side. But if we work to the two separate sides of that, then your orange is going to work with your bluey green and your bluey violet as well. So we can bring in those three colours really nicely. Or again, if we move it onto our yellow, you can use your yellow with your blue violet and your red violet as well. So that is how that guide works, to show you what colours work in that way. The next one we looked at was your triadic, which is three colours equally spaced from one another. And it says example is violet, green and orange. So on your wheel here, you'll see that you have triadic up at the top. You also have your triadic sort of points here. So these are a little bit more spaced than your split complementary, kind of either side of your split complementary. So if we choose, let's go with bluey green as our main colour, then your triadic colours are going to be your blue green, they're going to be your yellow orange, and they're going to be your red violet. Whereas if we turn that to be our sort of primary colour of that red, then your triadic is going to be your red, your blue and your yellow. So you've got that on there as well. Next we've got your double complementary, or I'm going to say this wrong now, tetradic, there we go. So that is using four colours, which consists of pairs of two complementary colours. So again, you've got that really handy guide on here. So with that one, I'm going to work with this little element here. So if we look at our red violet and we look at this darker square at the bottom, then you've got your red violet, you've got your orange, you've got your yellow green, and you've got your blue. So hopefully that helps you with that one. And then your double complementary as well is your sort of rectangle shape here that's in that lighter grey. So that's your violet, your orange, your yellow and your blue in this instance. So you can see now how those wordings and your sort of guides that you have work towards being able to bring those colours together beautifully. So let's work with our let's go with our complementary for this one. And for this one as well, I'm going to do something that's a little bit different, because of course you've got all of your sort of basic colours within here, But what about when we're wanting to use this colour theory with products that don't have, that have a mixture of colours in? So for this one, I'm going to use one of our brand new Duo Design paper pads and show you how this works really nicely. So we are going to do complementary, which is 2 colours that go together, and we're actually going to work with the red and the green for this one. So flicking through our book, we've got lots of different hues of these colours here, and I am going to use this really nice bright one, I think, here, that has these gorgeous colours in. It also works really nicely because you can see how well these have been designed, that we already have your reds and greens sort of on here together. So I'm going to use this, we're going to use both sides, and then we're going to pick out a green that works really nicely as well. So let's go in with our other polka dots. Now for this one, we could be using that really nice dark green on there, or we could be bringing that tone of colour down as well, but I think we're going to go with that darker green on this one. So let's pull that out, and we're going to use that colour theory to create a card with these elements here. I'm also going to bring in my Perfect Verses pad for a sentiment, and we've got some Miri to go alongside this. So let's get my trimmer, because of course when we're card making and we're thinking of colours that go together, we don't necessarily just make cards with prism, we don't make cards with just sort of like plain tones of colour. So I thought it would be really interesting to see how we could use the theory with sort of like a patterned design. So let's do a 6x8 card with this one. So I'm just going to cut down some Miri first of all, and then I'm going to use sort of this green as my background. So I'm going to cut that down a quarter shorter. So let's just trim a little bit off the end there. That's going to fit on here really nicely. And then I'm going to bring in this larger panel. So let's bring in this piece here. I'm going to cut that down to 7. And then I'm going to cut a nice little panel to 3. And then with this one, we'll just cut that slightly smaller. So going in with those roses this time, and then I'm going to trim that down a quarter shorter than the 7. So that's going to fit really nicely on this section here. And then let's bring out that red again to show that sort of complementary look on here. So I think for this one, I'm going to go, what size is this? Let's just trim this down to just below the 5. And then I'm going to trim this down so it's square, so just below the 5 again. So you've got that nice design. We're probably going to hide that under here. Just, I'm not too sure. I want the roses in, but I want to have those polka dots back in again. So maybe we need to just shorten that ever so slightly. Let's go to 4. So that's going to fit. You're still going to be able to see those roses. I might twist that the other way so we've got more of those sort of reddy hues showing. And don't worry too much about this because we are going to add a design on top of that. So I'm just going to get a little bit more of our Miri just to create another mat and layer for this one. So we need to go 4x5 on our mats and layers, and then because we've used that gold just to bring out all of those colours, for my sentiment on this one I'm going to go with our Perfect Verses. So let's bring out, there was a really nice one that I wanted to use. Let's hope I can find it. So the world, you may be one person, but to me you are the world. I love this one. So I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to try and keep it quite square. I'm just going to use my trimmer for this. So let's do that at, let's take that to here. And then I'm just going to bring it down as far as I can on this bit. Let's just remove that. I'm going to do this as, let's trim that down a little bit more on this side now. So I'm just going to take that to 3. And then I'm going to bring in my handy little punch. So for this, because it's bigger than 3, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line it up onto here till I'm happy that that is sort of level, and then we can just cut through on there. Obviously it won't cut through the whole thing because it doesn't fit properly. Let me just guide my scissors back through there though. So you've got that point, and then I'm going to make, I don't know if I can make it a little bit smaller because it does need to go sort of under that too if possible. Let's try, I don't want to take too much off each side. Let's just try with this one. We need a new trimmer blade in here. And then obviously you want to be really careful on the opposite side because of where you've popped your elements. But let's just run this down. I'm going to go over these edges now just to sharpen them up, and then I will use my brain a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a little, and I'm just going to take it from that corner and just marry up to that point that we have, and then I'll do the same on this side. So just take that up there and just use that as a guide. If I had a smaller word it would be fine because I would have been able to trim it to fit, but this one will do perfectly on here. And then I think what I'm going to do is of course give this a little trim on the top so it fits in that space perfectly, and then we can also mat and layer this. So I'll just again just tidy those bits up. I thought I had a spare blade with me, but I don't have one in there, otherwise we could switch that out. So just trim that down to 3 and we can mat and layer that up on there as well. So I'm going to pop all of our pieces together now to build up our card. Let's get our tape on these. We're going to use some of our foam pads as well just to give it a little bit of depth in places. But again, another kind of basic card in the way that we're laying this out in like a nice sort of sketched design, but we are using that colour theory as well to complement our colours and patterns that we're choosing. So this is going to sit really nice and flat on here. So let's just pop that down. We'll go in with that gorgeous floral design next. I'm going to stick that onto my mirror, and then we'll stick that on with foam pads. Just making sure all of those layers are nice and even, and then we'll go in with our foam pads on here like so. So we'll pop that onto here, giving you nice edging, that perfect sort of equal spacing. And then
This is just my kind of card. I love this. It's absolutely beautiful.
I'm going to stick that onto there. So let's go in with foam pads. Now you want to put your foam pads on one side single and then on the other side double, because of course we've added this one onto foam pads, so you just want to make sure you've got that nice sort of level edge again. So we'll stick that on there, and then I'm going to pop this on the other way around, so that's going to fit on there. You've still got those beautiful florals just showing through, and then this I'm going to go in with my tape again, and then we'll just cut around it with our scissors and our trimmer. So popping that onto here, making sure that those edges are perfect, and then we'll just go in with our scissors on here just to create that mat layer, because of course it's not going to fit through your punch just because that spacing is a little bit too big. So a little bit of trial and error with this one to be able to make sure you're happy with your the spacing that you've sort of got around there. And then I'm going to pop this on with my foam pads again. And I was just thinking, I wonder if we've got some beautiful ribbon that will match this sort of red and green tone. So I'm going to have a little look.
I can see one right down there, that
in
beautiful
the stash.
deep red in the stash there.
So let's just pop this on. So I'm going to stick that so it's right at the top of that design there, and then
There's a box
gonna
down
have to
here on the
move.
other side.
oh yes, this one.
It's it's
You
hiding
know
behind
what?
the scarboard.
I can reach this green. This green's going to be perfect.
Yes, beautiful.
Absolute match made in heaven. And then let's double up our ribbon as well to give it that really nice feel. So just folding that over to create that. Oh, I've gone too far there. Try again. Go a little bit shorter on those edges. Oh, it's getting tricky now. I've got two pieces to play with. 1 minute. This is why your bow maker's going to come in perfectly though. Let's just bring these down. There we go. And then we've got
Beautiful.
sort of double edge bow on there. We'll separate those really nicely, and then I can trim off this bit here to a nice little point, just so those edges sit really flush, and then we can bring that out a little bit as well. And then let's stick this on the top of here. So I'm going to use my double-sided tape. Glue dots would also be perfect for this. And then we'll stick that in place on there, and then we'll just pop that onto a little card blank.
Gorgeous.
There you go.
Thank you
Using
very
your
much.
complementary colours of that red and green with your duo design paper pads.
Stunning. Thank you very much,
You're welcome.
Natalie. Right, so let's dive into our last few techniques and pages of our book, shall we? Next up, I think Natalie ran through these ones for you
Oh,
before
did I go through it a little bit?
These were the ones, so we'll just quickly tell you what they are so you know. So this would be your triadic and your complementary. So you've got your triadic there again. So that works the same. It picks out those primary colours and shows you how well they work together. But then you can also, when we move on to our inked one here, you can see how just by placing your angles at a different point on your wheel, you can pick out three completely different colours but still work absolutely beautifully together. Next up was the choosing 4 colours. This is your tetradic method. So again, primary colours again used here, but just pulling out that green as well to work in there. Absolutely stunning. And then we also have, this is again the 4 colour tetradic method, using those beautiful fishtail banners there to create an effect. Absolutely gorgeous. And now we're moving on to our neutral colours, and this is the advantage of getting the book and getting your wheel free, because your neutral colours aren't necessarily featured on your wheel, but within the book we still wanted to make sure that we explain how you can use these as well, and we have the neutral palette colour in your book for you. I don't know if you can just, we'll show it in a minute, but it does go through the range there. So these are, as it is on the tin, your browns, your beiges, your creams, your whites, your blacks and the greys, and just how you can use those tones as well to make absolutely stunning cards. Right, I'm going to show it now. So in here you've got that beautiful palette, and again that's just the basics. You again can work within shades of that to make these absolutely stunning cards. And that's all of them. There are a few more in the book. Do you mind if I just show these, Lisa? Because we've also got, once we've gone through all the things you can do with your colour wheel and your neutral palettes, we've got some examples in the book of how you can use those techniques in different ways.
Yeah.
So here we have the harmonious, which is the same as the analogous. Using ribbons, how fabulous is this? So using your different materials to make these cards up. We then go on to our monochrome, but this time using the gems, all our different gemstones and stuff to pick out all the different shades of blues. So it just shows how many different things you can do, just lots of additional inspiration. You split complementary there using your glitters, your monochrome, using your paper pads. We've also got that monochrome again using the new denim papers that we've got, harmonious using your inks. So lots and lots of extra information for you in there as well. And then going back to that absolutely genius colour wheel where we've put in our colours that you can actually buy and available for us. And you can take me out and shoot me if I'm getting this wrong, but as we alluded to the fact that there are a new shade range of Matte-tastic coming as well,
Yeah.
I think we will be doing...
I think we'll probably have
maybe online or something like
an
that.
online a wheel with those
that will match those
in,
as well.
100%, yeah.
Yeah. And then all your card making information and even the template at the back there for the card that you saw in the book. Absolutely incredible. The handbook today with the free colour wheel, $9.99, $9.49 for our club members and $8.99 for this ingenious guide.
And I really
for
hope that
Diamond
what
Club
we've
members.
shown you today and the way that we've ran through it and shown you how to use the colour wheel with the sort of theory in the book, I really hope that you've sort of got a bit of an understanding of that now, and you're gonna get this home and use it throughout your card making, because it is, I mean, I've already used it a couple of times with some cards that I've made since we sort of developed this and we were making cards for the handbook with it. So it does come in so handy, and it works so well on some of those days where you're just a bit stuck and you're not sure what colours to use for something, especially like with colouring in stamps as well, and if you've got sort of like a theme that you're going with, this is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So before we move on to what we've got for you on the rest of the show, we'll just have a quick recap of our Win It Weekly competition. We have got our Floral Dreams stamp collection for you. 5 lucky winners this week, and all you have to do is like, share and comment your answer to how many words make up the world's longest poem. Is it A, 1.3 million, B, 1.8 million, or C, 2.2 million? Get your answers in. Can't wait to find out what the answer is. So, let's go on. We have got, now I know, because like Natalie said before, we made a lot of the cards for this handbook. I turned to these for most of them,
Yeah.
because again, they work so beautifully with your colour handbook. We have got our colour block pads for you here. This is our Brights collection on the matte paper. So this is the paper that you can add your stamps to, your inks to, you can distress it a little bit more. But are these on our diamond deals at the moment? Just the Brights and the vintage. These are 8x8 paper pads. You're getting 48 pages with all these beautiful colours in for £4.
I know. I was shocked yesterday.
£4.
Absolutely shocked.
Absolute bargain. And then you can also purchase it in our silk papers. So if you prefer something with a shine effect, this is the one for you. But they mix and match together perfectly. They can create great effects on your cards, putting the shine and the matte together. Absolutely stunning. And then also our vintage here. This is just so yummy, isn't it? Perfect for this time of year, perfect for your men's cards. Absolutely gorgeous. £4 for your matte and £4 for your silk. Absolutely gorgeous. Next up, we have our lovely lace nesting dies for you. And these are really new as well, aren't they? These are absolutely gorgeous. So again, just on these card examples on the front of the packaging here, you will be able to use your colour wheel handbook to find out what 2 colours or 3 colours you can put together. This one's here's got even more colours on, to make your layers absolutely gorgeous. Or if you're just wanting to do colour in the background and then add a nesting frame on top, we have got our lovely ovals. And I really don't think the front of that packaging does it justice. Look at the size of these. Look at that intricate detail on those edges of those dies there. These are our nesting dies, so you can lay them up on top of each other. You can put them inside each other to make frames. They are going to make your cards look absolutely stunning. And we also have our squares.
I love the detailing on these ones.
Absolutely
They are.
beautiful.
So nice.
And there's so many things you can do with these. I know both me and Natalie have made like easel cards and stuff from
Yep.
them. You can make your card blanks from them. They're absolutely gorgeous.
You can also do some really fun things with your die cut machines as well, especially with your squares, in sort of like extending or making those shapes smaller as well. So it's a really cool one to get, but they are so pretty, especially if you like making like rustic sort of styles of cards.
Yeah, absolutely. So for this bundle here today, for this multi-buy, it is $34.98, $33.23 for our club members, and $31.48 for our Diamond Club members. That is for 11 of these beautiful, look at that, there's 11 dies in there. These beautiful, beautiful dies. Absolutely stunning, absolutely incredible value. It's going to save you £5. And again, another thing that's going to work absolutely perfectly with what we're bringing you as our main item today. To go with them, we also have our centerpiece dies. Oh, we love these, don't we? We love
really like
a
these.
chunky sentiment die. And again, we picked these out today because we know they're going to work perfectly. If you're picking out some of the techniques from that from the book, you're doing a couple of your inking colours, maybe picking out a couple of papers, want to keep the background simple because you've got the colour as your main detail, you can then just go in with one of these chunky dies. We've got Sending Smiles here. A little bit, I mean, that's a perfect example just on the packaging there, isn't it? Just going in with your monotone colours, just picking out those greens, and then finishing it off with one of these lovely dies. We've got the Sentiment Smile. Let's have a look at the back so you can just see how beautiful that one is.
Gorgeous typography on these as well.
Absolutely. Be your own kind of beautiful. And we all know at least 4 people we want to send this sentiment to that don't quite believe in themselves enough. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And again, I think all these, they weren't designed, the front cards on here, to work with the handbook, but I think they're great examples of cards you can make using your handbook.
Definitely.
Absolutely gorgeous. And last but not least, our Precious Memories. Great one for your scrapbooking or doing memory cards or things like that one, this one. So this contains all 3 of these beautiful sentiment dies here, your multi-buy, $22.47, 21, there's big drops as you come down here, isn't there? $21.35 for our club members, and £20.22 if you are a Diamond Club member. It saves you £7.50.
I know, it's a whopping deal, isn't it?
That's incredible. Absolutely gorgeous dies there. And last but not least for today, we have our masks.
Now these are back in stock, Kat.
Are they back in stock?
These are back in stock.
It does not surprise me. Again, we have this beautiful multi-buy for you here. It contains all 3 of our 7-inch by 7-inch masks. Just absolutely gorgeous. Look at all the detail in there. This is our Antique Elegance. I'll show you the back. I'm sure you're familiar with our masking, but the kind of things you can create. These were designed to work with our little books as well, but of course you can use them independently. Oh,
I love that one.
So pretty.
That centre panel using sort of like beautiful, the colours that I'm going to use for this next card actually would look awesome in your Prism inks, sort of going with your blue, violet, your violet and your reds, and sort of doing like an ombre in that middle centre piece, and cutting it out would look incredible.
And that's it. And how they're designed to be used in so many different ways. You could just do a corner of it, you could just do the outer frame, you could just do the inner frame. There are so many different ways you can use them.
It would look really good with like a mixed media card as sort of like a doily sort of pattern.
Definitely. This is Pretty Lace. And last but not least in this multi-buy for you, we have the gorgeous stained glass. Again, another absolute favourite amongst us here. So many different ways you can use that colouring in. So for these 3, you are £12.50, $11.88 for club members, and $11.25 for our Diamond Club members.
All the deals today.
Absolutely perfect. Let's just show you a couple of examples with these. And these are really good because they show you all the different ways that you can use them. So you can use them with your other, like your paper crafting. So just as a background, bring that in, add your toppers on top. This is the stained glass, but it's been used in a very different way, hasn't it? Just to give that masculine edge to the card. And that one's been heat embossed there. It's been inked and then heat embossed. Absolutely stunning. Again, the stained glass, but just look at the completely different effect. This one's been put with that little book page. Absolutely gorgeous there. You can see the shading within the background, so another place you could be coming in to make sure you're getting those colours from your colour wheel. You've got the pretty lace one here. So again, like we said, chopping into the mask and doing different things with it, using a bit of the border for the outside there and then taking out the central element, heat embossing it and colouring it in. Absolutely stunning. Again, cutting it down, using it for your stepper cards.
That's really clever, isn't it?
Absolutely gorgeous there, so stunning. Those stark contrasting colours, absolutely gorgeous. Another one, you can tell the stained glass has been the favourite here. Working with that one there, that beautiful tonal range of
look
colours.
how gorgeous those colours work together.
That's it. Absolutely stunning. And then something really different. No. So it's been, so it's been coloured. So it's like almost a reverse, isn't it? So the lines that you usually mask have then been coloured and your bits of,
and then it's
the other bits are in white. Yeah, in white.
Very clever.
Absolutely stunning.
That
Perfect.
is very, very clever.
I believe we have one last wonderful demonstration coming up from our gorgeous Natalie.
Well, we are, and we're going to work with, I've lost my colour wheel now, no I haven't, it's here. We are going to work with our adorable scorables, because of course we've got that in the back of our book, and we are going to work with those harmonious colours, or if you're using your colour wheel, that is down as analogous, there we go.
We were like Eliza Doolittle before the show, having dialect lessons.
All the words that I can't say are all on this colour wheel. So I've chosen my colours here, you can see that. I've gone with blue violet, violet and red violet. The beauty of this though, as you turn it, it obviously moves through those different tones and you can pick out the colours you're going to use. But we're going to use these colours here, and I've chosen my orchid for my red violet, I've chosen my heather for my violet colour, and then I've chosen this one, which is our baby blue. Now this is down as a blue colour, but I think you can also get away with it being a blue violet because it really matches quite nicely to that bottom shade there. So we're going to do a card that I've done quite a few times actually, but it worked really nicely to blend all these colours together, and I'm just going to use, let's see how well we can cut this down from here. So I'm just going to use these and cut them down into 1-inch strips. Now this is a tiresome blade. I did think it wasn't going to make it all the way through, so let's just do the 2 at a time and then we'll go through with that last colour. So I'm just going to cut these to 1-inch strips. Why didn't it do it that time? Let's do one more of those. So we've got 3 of them. 1-inch strip. Just go over a couple of times to make sure that's cut. It hasn't. This blade needs switching after this show. And then I'm going to pop this to one side, and we're also going to do our orchid colour as well. So let me just grab this and I will just do it this way around so that we can just push that through. 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to do sort of like a herringbone design on this card. So I've got a piece of ink me and I've cut it down to 5 by 6. It's a little bit of a strange sort of oblong shape this, but it's something that I really like this sort of shape of card at the moment.
I love a 5 by 6.
It's nice, isn't it? It's really different. And I'm going to go in with my tape for this one just to make this easy, because we'll know that they are stuck down straight away. So just going on to the back of these colours, and I'm not going all the way down because I'm probably not going to use the full strip in any way. Let's see what we've got there. We've got all our colours. Let's go in with another 2 of these ones. So we'll just go in again. You can obviously use your construction glue with this, because it's going to allow you to sort of get these colours sort of in line. But let's go in and we will bring these in together now. I always like to have a starting point when I'm doing a card like this, so I'm just going to pop one straight down and then the rest will follow in tow. So let's go in and I'm going to go downwards and leave in a little bit of space between them, because that's going to give you that nice sort of pattern, like a grout kind of look. So I'm going to add that on there, and then what we can do is we can go and trim these off. Keep these little pieces because they will come in super handy. Just going to follow that through along there and again in that space, and then I'm going to go in with this little panel here. Let me just, because you can reuse some of these bits, because you definitely are going to get to use these elements. So again, let's just trim off these little triangle bits. I might be able to use this piece actually on here.
Waste not, want not.
Exactly.
I think with all of these cards, these techniques that you're going to get in the book, because we're using multiple colours, having that contrast either with your white or your black or maybe your Marie cards really helps the colours pop as well and bring them to light.
It really does. So again, I'm going to go, I need the longer strips for this. So let's go with our, I'm going to switch it around, I think. I'm trying to use all of these little bits before I go into more bigger strips to pop this pattern together. So I'm going to go onto here with this bit. I need a lighter blue on there, and then let's pop our other colour on here. So just using it in like strips of 3 is perfect, and then again always turn it over, just makes it easier to sort of cut through those lines. You could obviously use your stickables here as well, that would work really nicely, sort of picking out those colours. Maybe you're mixing your brights with your pastels to get all of the different shades that you need to marry this up. It's it can be a little bit tedious, but the results of this are always phenomenal. So then let's go in with the, I'm going to go in with another one of these just onto here, and then what I should have done is match them that way before, because now I'm in a little bit of a sticky situation with my next colours. But what I'm going to do is switch these around. So let's pop that up there. Need another lighter colour, so let's go in with this one. I got enough on this here, so
This is
just
so
carry
fun
that
to watch.
pattern back along on there. I'll just trim these ones now. We've got those to work with, and then I'll bring that back around. So just trimming that off there, and I'm going to mix these colours up now. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit of, it's a bit too short, that one. That's not a problem, we'll just have to go into one of our biggest strips. So we'll just pop that onto there, and then look how well these colours work together. It is so it is magic, really, isn't it?
It
How
is so clever.
just by using that wheel and turning those bits and pieces, you've got such a sort of fun card here. I think I'm going to have it this way around. I think I like that design there. And then for my sentiment, I'm going to go in with my type, because this is going to give you really, really simple and beautiful cards. And we are going to go with, we're just going to go with that hip hip hooray, I think. So I'm just going to trim that out of there so I can keep this together, because we don't want to lose any of those designs. And then this is really good to use with your trimmer as well, because you can really get into those spaces. So let's just cut that out, and I'm going to simply pop this on a little bit of a foam pad and just have it coming down one of those little gaps on my card. So I think I'm going to have it just here.
That's so cute.
I'm going to leave it like that, maybe this way, or if I fit it there, it fits better there on there, doesn't it? So let's pop that on there, just off the edge of that bit there, and then there you go. Super, super simple, but using all of those colours.
But super, super stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much, Natalie.
You're welcome. Hopefully you've got a
fantastic job.
bit of a better understanding of the colour wheel and how it's really going to help you with your card making.
Yeah, we've done a lot of technical talking to you today. Do
Yeah.
not be put off that. Once you've got the book home, it will make so much sense to you. And just remember that with all the colours on here, obviously we can't put every single shade of every single colour on here.
We wish we could.
We'd need a wheel the size of this room. But you've just got to find what colour you've got, which one it fits into. Because remember, we've got your shade, your tint and your tone on here, but each shade, tint and tone has a shade, tint and tone of its own, and each one of those has another. So you just find what one yours closely fits to and then match it up with the next.
It's very much open to your own interpretation.
Absolutely. So that is us done for today. TV schedule. Ooh, tune in with Natalie tomorrow at 1 p.m. down at Hobby Maker with the new decoupage toppers.
I'm excited for that show.
These are fab.
It was fun to think of what demos I was going to do for that one.
Because if I'm not mistaken, not to give too much away, there's a little additional extra with these, isn't there?
Exactly. Honestly, it was the easiest thing I've ever put together.
And it is just designed so perfectly to work with them. So you're going to absolutely love that. That's at 1 p.m. 4 p.m. you have the layering masks. Dead jealous.
Back
I
in
never got a chance to
stock.
work with them. And at 6 p.m. back to our Moonlight Fairies collection.
Yeah, we've got some different deals on that show for you. So tune in if you like that collection.
Absolutely fabulous. That's with Natalie down at Hobby Maker tomorrow. Next up on HDTV, it says here, make the day one to remember whatever you may do. Tune in tomorrow for perfect poetry and a whole lot of crafting too. I see what they've done.
Yeah.
This is where the poetry questions come from.
It is.
We've got a rhyming. Oh wow, they're on it. Absolutely
on
it. If you love our
Perfect
verses, our trim me inserts, you are going to absolutely love the poetry collection.
They were so popular yesterday on Hobby Maker. They were flying out the door.
Yeah, not surprising. So just another addition to that incredible range that we already know you love. So that is us done for today. Join us tomorrow. Thank you for being with us. Bye.